Hey everyone, Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business. Today we're going to be talking about how you can spend crypto on basically anything. And we're going to dive into going fiat free because this month is fiat free month in May. And the challenge generally is that you would spend crypto or find alternative means to pay for bills, groceries, pretty much anything that you would think of, but without using regular fiat currency. Now, some of the methods that I will cover will be workarounds and ways to utilize your crypto sometimes with fiat, like PayPal working with crypto. But for the most part, we're focused on fiat-free usage. The reason that I want to still cover PayPal and stuff like that is because that still might be really useful for some people. And if nothing else works to be able to pay for something, it's still good to have that as a backup if you still want to find ways to be able to just use your crypto, or rather earn in crypto and then be able to spend from that point without using a bank. So with that being said, the main things that we're going to cover is switching your funds to PayPal. There's many different services that do this. Credit and debit Visa cards that are cryptocurrency, that just hold crypto, right? Not regular fiat. The ones that I'm looking at and the ones that the ones that I've been testing are Bitvo and Localcoin, but this is really for Canada. So depending on where you live, it'll probably be different. I know Uphold is coming out with cards. Crypto.com has cards. BitPay. There's a lot of different options, especially for US users. It becomes a little more challenging for people around the world, but this is just one of the options. So it's not like if you can't do this, you're out of luck. So I'm really just going to touch on Bitvo because I've covered Bitvo and Localcoin before. The real difference, or like the major difference between the two, is the model that they use for spending. So Bitvo charges you more per transaction, but Bitvo allows you to at any point switch your crypto into I guess a stable version of that. Like in some sense, it's really just switching it to fiat before the transaction. So in a way, you're kind of using fiat, but in a way you're not. Whether or not you end up using regular money is besides the point. It's really if you use crypto to achieve this, right? So if you put in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever you decide to put into Bitvo, and I'll actually share my screen here. I put in about $268 worth of crypto. I actually put in more, but I've been paying my bills now, which is really awesome. But essentially, I put this in and then I sell it at the current value, and then it just goes into a Canadian balance, the same way you would do with any exchange, right? One also really good thing about Bitvo is that you can send to and from Bitvo basically instantly with their e-transfers. Unlike a lot of other exchanges, you might have to wait a few days or something. But some of their methods are instant, so that's really useful. But again, you take your crypto and you switch it to whatever fiat currency that you use, and then it just sits on the card and then it can be used as needed. With Localcoin, your crypto will stay in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, and then as you spend, it will make the transaction to convert. So, there's ups and downs to this, right? The conversions cost more on a per transaction basis, but with Localcoin, you just pay $1 or $2 a month, and that covers all of your transaction fees. So that is definitely a big upside, because even with just a few transactions, I've already gone over that limit with Bitvo. But Bitvo gives you the security in knowing that you'll have the right amount to pay. I mean, the main concern here is that, if there's a big drop in crypto and you've got a bill coming up and then it doesn't pay, You don't want to have to deal with tracking the prices every time a bill comes around to ensure that you can actually pay it. Now, when I would recommend using Localcoin is, and I haven't done this yet, but when crypto goes way up in value, I'm much more inclined to use Localcoin, because that way, when it's worth a lot more money, I'm able to transact on Localcoin at a much better value. And then if it drops, I just don't do anything with that money. I just hold it off to the side. The only unideal thing is that you're still going to get charged $2 a month. But if there's 1,000% change, $2 a month is pretty irrelevant to be able to take advantage of that. Whereas if you put all of your money into Bitvo, then you would just have the money that you have at the time. That's why I only load small amounts into this. Actually, what I do, which is pretty cool, and I think people could take advantage of this and maybe do something similar, I pay for all of my bills now using crypto, and I do it with all the earnings that I get every month. So last month I got $686. For the majority of the bills that I want to pay through crypto, I can do it with about $400 a month. So I'm going to be putting $400 a month into this and then letting it pay for all of my bills using crypto. The amazing thing is that even though your crypto isn't being taxed because you're not taking it out and putting it into your bank account, because I'm paying for bills, I can still, like, these bills are still being paid and these are still tax deductible. I can deduct a percentage of my internet off my taxes. And regardless of how I pay it, I still get that deduction. But I'm paying it with non-taxable crypto. Maybe there's a loophole, someone who's an accountant or a lawyer, feel free to correct me. But as far as I see it, that's kind of how it's working right now. And maybe I was good until I made these videos, but I'm trying to help you guys. So, maybe in the future I end up paying taxes, but either way, I still think this is a very, very awesome way to be able to pay for things. So far I've paid for Spotify. I've paid for my Photoshop and Premiere Pro and all my Adobe cloud software applications, and then I've paid for my internet bill. The next upcoming payment will be my cell phone, and I'm just kind of knocking out all of these utilities. And the reason that I think this is so important to test this out, once I started doing this in May, because it's Fiat free month, you realize it's very, very, it's a lot easier than you thought it was. And it's also way more interesting and cool to be able to take earnings from my social media, consolidate it into Ethereum, put it onto this platform, and then just pay off my expenses. And, while I could just save it or do whatever, I think it's way more interesting and proves the use case of cryptocurrency when you can actually take it and spend it and pay for just your regular lifestyle. As I make more money, I will use this, because you can also spend this wherever you go that accepts Visa. As I make more money, I'll probably start covering my, alcohol purchases and food and stuff like that. Ideally, eventually paying for all of my expenses. If in the next year, 2 years, I can afford to pay all of my expenses with cryptocurrency income coming in from social media platforms, that would be the dream, right? From then on, any income on top of that would just be invested into passive income. And I would be essentially financially free at that point. I could quit my job. Not that I intend to. I fully intend to just make as much money as possible. But I think it's very, very lucrative, and it really just shows the use case and the possibilities that you can take advantage of. I don't want to spend too long on this one. So the next thing that we're going to look at is how you can actually take money and put it into PayPal. So there's a lot of different exchanges that do this. I've tested out a couple. there's a website. I forget exactly what the website is. If I find it, I'll link it in the description. It lists all the different platforms that you can use to exchange to PayPal, because you've got to pay some sort of fee, because essentially what's happening is people are buying your crypto at a discounted fee by giving it to you directly to your PayPal, and then you get the benefit of getting it to your PayPal. So here you can actually see all the different rates of what people are willing to pay, and Ethereum is a decent enough. Oh, okay, sorry. This isn't necessarily just what you're willing to pay. It's per exchange. So depending on what you want to do, if you want money sent directly to your bank card, these are the rates. If you want to be paid by Payeer, or there's all these different payment options. For me, I go to Ethereum, and then you see the payment options here, and I take out PayPal USD. So it's pretty simple. Essentially, when you go in, you say the amount that you want to convert here. Now, I will say the fees are not the greatest. They do take a pretty good chunk, $30 in fees for $200. So, I mean, look, this is definitely not this is not the best option. There's a lot of different options that you can explore out there. Out of the two that I tested, this was the fastest and the easiest. All you really have to do at this point is you just put in your PayPal email, and then you send this Ethereum. It's held in escrow, and then once the person pays you, they will get the Ethereum, and if they do not, the Ethereum will be redeposited back into your account. So the good thing here is that, again, it's trustless. You don't have to rely that someone is actually going to come through. This website will manage the trust for you. I honestly don't know how well known or how widely used Leo Exchanger is, but for me, and I have used it several times now, it's been really good. If you know of a cheaper way, though, please comment in the comments below. Again, I will try to find the list of different platforms that you can use. But again, the other one that I used, you had to wait at least 24 hours and you had to do all this extra stuff. I didn't want to try that with all of them. This is probably the best solution that I've found so far. So keep that in mind. If there's something that you can't pay with your crypto or Visa cards, or you're unable to get one, PayPal might still be one solution that you could have to be able to pay for things. Obviously, PayPal is pretty centralized, and it's not the greatest for people who like blockchain and cryptocurrency. But if you want to be able to pay something and you can't otherwise with crypto, this is an option. So instead of just getting upset at all the options, it's good to know at least what they all are. The last two are Bitrefill and then buying cards on Amazon. So let's navigate over to Bitrefill. This is a great website that was originally shown to me by TheDesertLynx when I had him on my podcast to talk about Fiat Free May for the first time. There's a ridiculous amount of different gift cards that you can get on here. I've taken advantage of Uber, Amazon, and Google Play for my storage. Uber for Uber and Uber Eats. You could pay for Steam, so if I ever get a game in the future, I can do that. And then Amazon is really useful because Amazon will help you buy other things that you might not be able to get on here. So on here, I don't think I found Google, at least Canadian Google, and that does matter. Because, for example, you have to buy the Google Play card that is in your country. So I had to buy Canada, and that wasn't listed here. So what I did was I bought my Amazon card, and then there's infinitely more gift cards that you can buy on Amazon to be able to buy pretty much anything you need. And just obviously having the Amazon gift card will allow you to buy pretty much any retail items that you could think of, and have that covered with crypto. So essentially, I've taken a bunch of my crypto and filled up all these cards and stuff. And now going forward, the idea is that I will only spend crypto on my discretionary spending. And the reason I think this is really good is because, again, this shows how crypto can be utilized in your everyday life. And not only that, it'll make me more hesitant to spend frivolously, right? Like I'll stop and I'll think, okay, well, this isn't just my regular money. This is my cryptocurrency. Is this worth buying, this thing right now? Am I better to just wait for the price to go up? I think it acts as a much better barrier for me to double check if I really think I need to buy something, because having that slight resistance is good. I mean, there isn't really any resistance once, if I want to buy something on Amazon, it takes just as long because I've already got my balance filled up. But I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, okay, well, I'm going to have to refill this after with crypto. Do I want to do that or do I want to wait? So I think that's a good standard to sort of go by. And those are using Bitrefill, and then anything that you might want to buy on Amazon, gift cards and otherwise, you can use those in conjunction. They have a lot here. You can also get phone refill cards. If you use a pay-as-you-go phone, you can do that as well. There's a lot of different options, and pretty much anything that you would want to buy from, you could probably find on here, or Uber Eats or whatever, one of the other parts of this. So that pretty much covers everything that I have for how you can actually spend your crypto, the different ways that you can, outside of the really obvious ways, like, just actually transacting with places that accept. These are sort of the less obvious solutions that can allow you to pay for things that you might have not otherwise been aware of. Let me know if there's anything that I'm missing that is really, really useful for people to take advantage, because I would love to know, and I'm sure everyone who's watching would love to know. If you found this useful, though, do share this, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But again, let me know what you think of all these. What's the card provider that you use in your country, where you're from? Do you have a provider? Do you have access to all these platforms? How do you spend your crypto? Please let everyone know, and let us know if you're participating in Fiat Free May. Thanks so much for watching up to this point. Since you did, it would be awesome if you could give this video a like, and if you could comment down below #1ham. That way I know that you watched the full video. Also, it would be great if you guys could follow me, subscribe to my channel. You can follow me and find me everywhere under @ScottCBusiness. And also, sharing this video makes a huge impact. If you'd like to support me more directly, you can donate to scottcbusiness.crypto or scottcbusiness.eth. And that covers a lot of my main addresses for Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ripple. As always, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, signing off. Cheers.